Hello again, everybody. Dr. Glenn here with Infinite Wellness, coming back to you with our question and answer series. Happy to give you a little bit more information today, some good basics, and please like and share our videos, let people know about us. We're happy to be doing this, so yeah, give us a thumbs up and let everybody know.
All right, so today's question is, what are some of the basic vitamins I should take daily and why are they beneficial?
Okay, well, that can go on and on and on, and obviously we could get into lots of different talk about basic vitamins, basic herbs, all kinds of natural products that we can take. Obviously, as chiropractors, we want you to take natural supplements for most of the things that we're dealing with for conditions. We'd like you to avoid as many medicines as possible. But as a question for basics, what should I be taking every day? Because of our quality of food and what most people are eating, we do need some basics. There are some things that we do not get enough of, I don't believe, especially in our culture today and with the food sources we're dealing with. So we'll start with the really simple ones. The most basic, and honestly, I think one of the best, would be a good multivitamin. And I'm very partial to liquids here. Bioavailability, big fancy term for how much you can absorb, how quickly, is an important factor when taking vitamins, period. If we're going to take vitamins, we need to make sure that our bodies are capable of absorbing as much as what we're taking in. So if I buy something that's a hard caplet, it's very large, I just swallow it, I do that, in the morning, and then I go sit at work for 8 hours, the likelihood that I'm going to absorb much of that is very low. And that's not going to benefit you for the money you spend. So I have some preferences. You can come talk to me, find out what you think I think is best, but a good liquid multivitamin is your first basis. That will give you a lot of the things on a regular daily basis that even if you're getting some of those in your food, you're not mega dosing or overdosing, you're getting enough and supplementing it in. On top of a good multivitamin, most multivitamins are still fairly low in what I would consider deficient even in certain things. Most of your multivitamins are going to say vitamin C is in there. Vitamin C needs to be taken in a higher quantity as a natural antioxidant. Why do we take it? Simple. Anything that's an antioxidant helps us destroy free radicals within the body. Keeps cells healthy, keeps arteries more open, destroys sclerosis and plaquing. All of your antioxidants will do that. And of course, your basic, I think, would be vitamin C. Probably the least expensive of all the antioxidants out there. There are lots of other ones, but I personally take vitamin C myself because it is inexpensive. I get it in a powder form. In fact, I have it here. Powder forms are great because they mix readily with fluids. So the multivitamin I have, I put into a shaker cup. I put a little powdered vitamin C in there, several other vitamins we're going to talk about, and they mix very well. But vitamin C is a great antioxidant, and I believe we should be getting close to 2,500 milligrams per day. Most formulas have 500 or less. Even your emergencies and stuff are less than that. So added vitamin C is always a must. Other things, vitamin-wise, I would say B vitamins, another big one. The B vitamins, we generally get little bits and small micro amounts in most of our multivitamins. The body needs B vitamins. B vitamins are very important as they are cofactors for many things. They help us with mood. They help with serotonin production. There are lots of different B vitamins. We could go through them all independently. That might be another video presentation I do. But we want higher amounts of B12. We need B6. We need thiamine and riboflavin. We need niacin. These are all B vitamins, and these are all factors in a lot of our daily body's productivity each day. They help give us more energy. Again, like I said, they help balance mood and give us more serotonin production, which helps us sleep, a very important one. So I think a good B complex. Also, again, I use a liquid. I think that's a really good idea. Again, bioavailability, and it's easy to mix in with something I'm already making. Most of the rest, let's see, vitamin-wise, I'd say probably the other vitamin that I would add in here is just a straight vitamin and not a mineral or a compound, would be vitamin D. Vitamin D, we can synthesize to a degree. Some people synthesize it better than others. People who tan easily or their skin colors easily are better at actually producing vitamin C within the body. Others are not. So I do believe we need enough vitamin D. Excuse me, did I say C? I meant vitamin D. Vitamin D we produce, but we get it from sunlight. Sunlight turns our skin the melanin color that it is, so we do get production of vitamin D, but I believe taking it is also beneficial, especially in the wintertime or if we're not in sunlight directly for long periods of time, days on end. even as much as 5,000 international units per day. Vitamin D, very, very important for natural immunity. So keeping our immune function high, which goes back to things like vitamin C and its cofactor of zinc. Zinc also for immunity. So those are some of our vitamins. Zinc, sorry, that's a mineral. I'll get into those. We also have some minerals I believe are very, very important. One of the major ones is magnesium. Magnesium is one of the salts of the body. We have 4 salts: calcium, potassium, magnesium, primary salts, and sodium. Sodium we get plenty of, we know that. We get lots of that through the food that we have, the preservatives they use to keep it. These days sodium is actually overutilized, but oftentimes the body is using it in place of some of our other salts because we don't get enough. And I believe magnesium is the key one. Higher amounts of magnesium help with so many different things, in particular people who suffer with migraine headaches, people who have leg cramps, people who are experiencing just pain, aching joint pain. Magnesium is usually a lower cofactor there, and that's one of the good minerals that needs to go into our body. I'm trying to think some of the others. I'm a big fan of things like coenzyme Q10, again, back to antioxidants. So things like N-acetylcysteine, coenzyme Q10, these are great heart protectors. They're great for our blood vessels. They help keep plaquing down, which is, I do a whole thing on cholesterol. If you haven't watched that video, please jump over to that when you're done here. That'll give you a little bit more explanation, but keeping things like plaquing down in the arteries helps us not be so worried about cholesterol. Keeps our arteries clearer, keeps everything from being too overwhelmed. So a big one there. I think antioxidants are a big portion as well. So quite a few of the little things I think are great in there. There are other things that I recommend on occasional use. I'm a big fan of milk thistle. It's an herbal product. It's a great cleaner for the liver. It allows some liver restoration. It helps the body restore. So those of you who are dealing maybe with gallbladder or liver issues, milk thistle. But I tell people that's not something you have to take all the time. I recommend it as an occasional use. I do it about every 3rd or 4th month. I'll use a bottle of it for 30 days to clean stuff out, and then I don't use it again. Probiotics. A lot of people think probiotics on a daily basis are a necessity. I don't. Probiotics are a great source. They're a great resource to have around or to keep in your refrigerator, but taking them every day really seems to kind of discredit their available use. Probiotics are great to use when we're not feeling well, or we've had to have an antibiotic cycle, or we're having digestive issues, and then we use them for about 7 days, and then back to the fridge, and we wait till we have those issues again.
Speaking on probiotics,
Yes.
Can you explain the difference in a probiotic versus a prebiotic?
Absolutely. Probiotics are organisms. They're basically digestive organisms. There are healthy gut bacteria that we put in, and probiotics are there to help maintain a balance within our GI tract. That balance is basically us with microorganisms or bacteria, and bacteria in our gut help us dissolve and break down food, help us with absorption and other things, and the balance on those can get out of whack, but the idea is just to get them back into balance and then leave them there. Prebiotics, however, are enzymes. Prebiotics are, that's another term, and these can be taken daily. For those of you who have trouble digesting certain things, or you're having GI problems, and even if you're not, for eating certain foods, prebiotics are enzymes that mostly come in different fruits and plants that help us break down food, things like amylase and papain. These are compounds that come in things like pineapple or grapefruit, or that help us break down other foods. So a prebiotic is an enzyme that helps us break down a food source. A probiotic is actually an organism that we put in as a bacterial organism to keep homeostasis within the gut.
Would you recommend a prebiotic daily or neither of them daily?
I think prebiotics can be used daily. There's no reason not to use them. I don't know if they need to be all the time. You would have to kind of balance that with how you feel on a regular basis. But if you're having trouble, like you're eating certain foods, you don't feel like you're digesting well, then a prebiotic could be a great aid. And yes, you could do that on a regular basis. Probiotics, I don't believe are necessary on a regular basis. There are people who take them, but honestly, I think it's kind of a waste of money at that point. They're great to restore your gut, but once your gut is restored, just pouring more and more and more and more in on a daily basis really isn't going to make a profitable change. So yeah, I think prebiotics can be used more as a daily thing if needed. Probiotics are great if things are out of balance. So those are just some of my basics, a little bit of the stuff that I think is kind of a daily basis need. Obviously, people with conditions that are trying to treat something, there's a lot more we can go into. There are tons of great herbs and other things out there. Great food products. I'm a big fan of things like ginger and turmeric, garlic, onion. These are things that are in our kitchen. I could do a whole talk on that. Maybe that'll be my next one. Tell me if you want me to do that. If I don't get a bunch of yeses, please do it. I may let that go. But otherwise, love to do that one for you as well. What can I use right in my kitchen to cook with or put into my foods or things of that nature that are great for me on a daily basis that keep me healthy?